So I'll go over to the content directory, create a new folder. I'll say character animations, and then in that folder we'll create a new cinematics level sequence, and we'll name this wave animation. So we'll open up the wave animation, and then if we click on the character and then click track, actor to sequencer, and we can just select add BP Hudson or whatever the name of your character blueprint is. Okay, and that's going to populate the data in here, and this is where we will create our keyframes to start animating the character. You'll also notice it's added a bunch of attachments to the character, which will allow us to essentially, these are just all little animation points all over the body, even on the fingers. This is what they call a control rig, so it certainly makes animating the character a lot easier. So go ahead and search for IK and just check these boxes here. It's going to make the animation a bit easier. So if we, for example, disable the right arm, you can see those animation points have changed. So with it disabled, IK disabled, if we try to drag his hand, or probably this one, you can see it turns him into Slender Man, which we obviously don't want. So what we can do is enable IK, and then if we select that, you can see that now keeps his arm in proportion as we drag it. Okay. So because we're doing a waving animation, I pretty much only want to animate his hand or his arm. So if I select this little rectangle yellow box, over here I can add a keyframe with this little plus icon, and then drag this over. So when I create this keyframe, it's essentially creating a snapshot of him in his current pose. And then if I move to 30, I can move his hand up all the way, something like that. And at this point we'll also click this button here, which will create keys automatically, so we don't have to keep clicking this button to create these keyframes. So when we make any further adjustment, it'll just create this keyframe, and then at this point we'll see we've already got somewhat of an animation. He's now sliding his arm between those 2 points. So we're going to want to rotate his hand, obviously. So to do that, we'll just click this box, select the rotation, and then on the green axis, I believe you can bring up his wrist. There we go. Okay. So his fingers obviously aren't in a very aren't in the ideal waving position, I won't worry about that. We'll just start some kind of wave. So keep it nice and simple. I think what I'll do is rotate, start it here, maybe move 5 frames ahead, and then move it over to the other side. Okay, that should yeah, it's certainly could do with some work, but it is it does show you how you can get this to do some pretty cool things. Okay, and then what we can do, because this is only 30 frames, if we hit play, you'll see that's doesn't really wave. So all we can do is duplicate this frame. So if we right click, duplicate, we've got a duplicate there, and then drag that just roughly the same distance. There we go, it does a bit of wave. Okay, and then so he ends on the left. So yeah, we could shift click and then duplicate both of those, then move both of those across. Okay, so yeah, he's starting to get a bit of a wave going. So if we just hit play, okay, so that's pretty much sort of good. We should put as much detail into that as you like. So that will probably do it for my animation. Alright, so I just duplicated a few more frames just to get him waving a little bit longer. Alright, there we go. I just want to drag this marker over to just at the end of our animation, and then that would just play between these 2 points. Okay, so I think that'll do for the wave. When you're happy with the wave animation, just go up to the body, right click, bake animation sequence, select the animations folder, call it AS wave, export, and that'll be good to go.